I've been trying not to go off the deep end.
So what's happening, YouTube? Welcome to ITSJONJONTV. And on today's episode, this is the finale of the series. And today, we will be finishing Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, a courtship of rivals, basketball. And today is the big day, man. We are finally going to be able to wrap up this documentary. So far, my takes on this documentary, probably the best basketball documentary I have ever seen. So, like I said, we got a video to finish here. Like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know down below what videos you want me to check out next, what videos you want me to react to. I've already been on this Larry Bird journey. I'm learning a lot about him so far that I didn't know, and I thought I knew a lot already, but there's more to learn, and let's go ahead and get into the video. Let's go.
Champagne and the championship, I wanted more of that and more of that. So Magic kept growing because we were successful, and the persona and all of that came with that.
The Prince of LA was now the king. And in Hollywood, being royalty had its perks.
Wow. What was Irvin Johnson's vice? Now, you know, my publicist wants me to say winning.
It's women.
But women loved Irvin.
Back then, before voicemail, they used to have these mail slots in the hotels where you leave your key. And when we get into a town, Irvin's mail slot would be so packed, and it would be just Susan and a phone number, Linda and a phone number, Joyce and a phone number. I mean, that was every city, every time.
I was on top of my game as Magic, so I needed all that around me at that time. The women, the this, the that, Hollywood.
Magic was living in a context of sybaritic excess from the minute he walked in the door, and he developed a sweet tooth for it.
Sex with several women at the same time.
Yeah.
Oh man, hey, if y'all haven't seen this clip already, first of all, shout out to Magic. If y'all haven't seen this clip already, man, it's hilarious. I ain't gonna lie to you, because he said so many things and so many words, and I think everybody kind of got what he was saying, man. So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and play it through. I'm gonna go ahead and rewind it a little bit. So let's see.
Context of sybaritic excess from the minute he walked in the door.
That clip is hilarious, though.
Sweet tooth for it.
Sex with several women at the same time.
Yeah. Like I said, women have different fantasies. Some want to be with 2 or 3 at a time. You know, one time I had 6 at one time. That's just...
I really do believe he looks upon Magic Johnson as a movie character he played. I think Irvin got overwhelmed in LA by what it meant to be a star.
That's probably true that the Magic ego swallowed Irvin a little bit, but that's okay, because I couldn't win 5 championships without that.
Through all of this haze of women and money and fame and fortune, he still kept basketball at number one. He never seemed to lose that focus.
Larry had 2 jobs his last 7 years of playing. It was playing basketball, and then it was
rehabbing.
Being committed to taking care of his back.
He had first heard it in 1985, building the driveway at his mom's house back in French Lick.
Larry decides to do it himself. This is Larry Bird, the superstar, out there breaking his back, literally shoveling gravel. And that was the beginning of a process.
I would see him on TV laying down, and then they told me that he had to lay down on planes, different things like that. And I was like, wow.
As Magic soared through the prime of his career, Bird was breaking down. His deteriorating back and punishing style of play proving an excruciating mix.
From 88 to 92, it was painful to watch. It was painful to cover. Larry is quite ornery when he's not feeling well, which means he was ornery for those next 4 years.
He could manage the pain in a way that very few people can do. There'd be days he'd come in the office and he couldn't stand up straight.
But even after 2 ruptured Achilles tendons, surgery on his back in 1991, Bird kept going to work. Product of a lesson learned many years before, seeing the swollen ankle of a man long since gone.
Well, we don't know if it broke or not, but it looked broke to me. I had to go to work and he had to get his boot on, and it took everything I had to help him get that boot on his foot. And he stood up limping, and he says, well, I'll see you this weekend, because he was working construction at the time. And I was pretty amazed how he could fight through that all week, then come home on the weekend, and it was black and swollen, and he'd sit around on the weekend and put that boot on and go again. If you get paid to go to work, you got to go to work.
It was a situation that he was
boy, man. Shoo, shout out to Dan. Man, nowadays, like looking back at this, Larry Bird knew how much it meant to actually be out there on the court, even though he was hurt, even though he sacrificed his own body. And he did that because that was his job. And a lot of people back in the day did that. There wasn't no missing work. It wasn't no calling in sick. And that's just impressive. With all of the pain that he was going through, he was still able to actually be productive. With that being said, today's players need to take some notes, man. I say, you never know how much pain a player's actually going through nowadays. But a lot of these players, they be 85, 90%, and they're just sitting out, load management. And you have people like us paying fans. I remember one year, first of all, shout out to my brother Kendrick. I don't know if he's actually checking this out, but Kendrick actually gifted me for my birthday some tickets to the Lakers game. And I was pumped because I was about to go see LeBron. I've never seen LeBron play. I know the tickets had to be expensive, but the day before the Pelicans' first Lakers game, they shut LeBron down for the rest of the season. Man, you don't know how devastation feels. The game was still good, but you have people that pay a lot of money for tickets. Fans. Some people, it might be all they have, and they're actually sparingly buying tickets, and you sit out and you could play. That wasn't really going on back in the day. Michael Jordan played full 82-game seasons. Larry Bird, Magic Johnson. A lot of the stars back then wasn't making as much as the players nowadays, but was playing through pain. Kobe Bryant, broken fingers and all. Ruptured Achilles, still made free throws. All the injuries he dealt with. It's just players nowadays, they're built differently. And I understand it's a business at the end of the day. You have to protect yourself because you're the asset. If you get hurt, nobody's paying your bills. So I understand that. But hey, where people like Larry Bird exist nowadays, like the Ant Edwards or the Jokic's or the Luka Doncic's, or, they're a dime a dozen. But back then, it was standard practice. So salute to those guys, man, that actually care about the fans and care about their body of work. But anyway, let's go ahead and get back into the reaction.
If you get paid to go to work, you got to go to work.
It was a situation that he was seeing almost daily. He had lost the structural stability in his spine. So it would slip into abnormal positions to try and lock itself to get an artificial stability. That's like getting your finger stuck in a door and somebody's still pushing on the door. So what we had to do was unlock his spine, realign it, do techniques that would hold that for 4 hours, 6 hours, that type of thing, and then he'd go play basketball.
Oh my goodness.
Every time I would play, I was wondering if I was going to be in a wheelchair. Was I ever going to be able to, walk on the beach or hold my kids?
His pain and his quest for basketball became all-encompassing. Very few people really knew what Larry was living with, because this was Larry's issue, and there was no sharing of his pain.
I probably should have retired in 88, 89, but it's that competition. Maybe one more chance, me and Magic could get together in the finals, but it never happened.
sleeping, really, laying down, just waiting on the game, and the phone rings, and the voice says, "Hey, you gotta come back to LA." And I said, "Okay, why?" "Well, I can't tell you until you get to LA." So I said, "Okay."
2 hours later, he was in the office of Lakers team physician Michael Melman.
Dr. Melman starts to tell me that, through the physical that I took, that they discovered that I had HIV. First time ever in my life. I'm such a control freak, right? Do things the right way. I'm out of control. Oh, it was everything. How is it possible? What happened? How did it happen to me? And my
I think we all know how it was possible, Magic. You had him. From the front of the arena, lined up, down, hundreds, thousands of women just lined up in a row. I'm just saying, I mean, it ain't a secret. I'm not trying to make light of the situation, but I mean, I'm just saying, you never know, so. But, hey, shout out to Magic. Hey, man, I'm not like I said, I'm not trying to make light of the situation. I'm just saying, I mean, I think we all know how it happened. So anyway, let's get back to the video.
Oh, it was everything. How is it possible? What happened? How did it happen to me? And my mind is racing, and then you're just devastated.
Further complicating things, Magic had gotten married just 2 months earlier, and he feared the worst for his new bride, Cookie, who was pregnant with their first child.
I don't know what's going to happen with my wife and my baby. I don't know what's going to happen to me. I don't have control of the situation, and I was lost just for that next 2 or 3 weeks.
And after Magic learned neither his wife nor his unborn child were infected, he began revealing the news to his inner circle.
The phone rang, and it was Magic's agent, Lon Rosen. And he said, "Irvin's looking for you, call him." And I said, "I'll call him when I get to Paramount." And he says, "Call him now." I said, "Lon, I'll call him when I get to Paramount. I'll be there in 20 minutes. And he said, "You got to call him now. Irvin's HIV positive." I remember I was sitting on the bed. I remember standing up at that point. And I said, "How is that possible?"
Say, man, hey, don't judge me, all right? Don't judge me. I'm just saying, I mean, I don't really want to get into the subject because back in the day, they said that HIV was only able to get, I guess, contracted if it was certain orientations that was taking place. And I guess they thinking like, well, Magic's not into men. So maybe that's thought process of, I guess, how, but I guess now with the advances in medication and now we done more research on it, we know that, hey, anybody could get it. I mean, you could get it just with having an open wound on your hand and you make contact with somebody that has it and it gets inside of your bloodstream or whatever. I mean, we know now, but back then I'm just, come on, man. How is it possible? They getting me with that one, man. I'm sorry. I'm trying my best, all right? Let's get back to the video.
I said, "How is that possible?" I'm thinking Irvin's gonna get skinny and die. I mean, literally, that's what I thought. Irvin's gonna get skinny and die.
The first person I thought of was Larry. I wonder what Larry thinks.
The day that I heard about Magic, it just sort of changed my love for basketball. It shook me up. You know, you get that feeling, probably the same type of feeling I had when my father died.
He wants to understand why, you know, how can I talk to him? How, I need to speak to him. It was just really important for Larry to talk to him.
You know, sort of, I don't know. I wanted to hear it from him, probably didn't believe it.
Calls me and we're talking, you know, it's just, how you doing? I heard about it, and you can almost hear both of us with some tears in our eyes. And I'm choked up because he did call me, and you know, when something happens, to you, and then you find out who really your friends are and people who really care about you. You figure all those battles, all those things we had to go through as warriors, as competitors, and as men. And here this man says, hey, you know what, man, you're okay. And so that was the greatest moment for me too, you know, to have him check on me and to make sure I was okay.
First of all, let me say good after late afternoon. Because of the HIV virus that I have attained, I will have to retire from the Lakers today.
It's the only press conference I've ever been in where I've seen reporters cry. I mean, we thought this guy was in total denial.
I plan on going on, living for a long time, bugging you guys like I've always have.
We thought this smile was going to be wiped off his face forever, and he was going to die, but we're going to watch him die in public.
I just remember in the room, he was joking, and I'm sitting there looking at him crying, and he's like, Coop, man, I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be okay. It's going to be all right.
I am going to go on, I'm going to beat it, and I'm going to have fun.
Sure, come on. You're going to beat this? And to him, it was a contest. Larry Bird and Magic Johnson, AIDS and Magic Johnson, he's same thing. It's just the...
I think AIDS is slightly different, my friend. I think. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a physician. I know if you had AIDS, I know your chances of survival was significantly less. But I think HIV, I'm not a doctor. I'm not even going to try to talk on this like I'm an expert. But I'm going to give my take. I'm going to go ahead and go wrap this up, at least this portion. I'm going to give my take on how I'm feeling right now. But just kind of had to comment on that one. So.
To eat right, get rest, and live forever. That's what he was planning.
Thank you again, and I'll see you soon.
Johnson, he's same thing. It's just a different game, different rules, but I'm still going to win.
He wasn't planning on going nowhere. Irvin was...
I'm sorry, y'all. Bear with me.
Sure, come on. You're going to beat this? And to him, it was a contest. Larry Bird and Magic Johnson, AIDS and Magic Johnson, he's same thing. It's just a different game, different rules, but I'm still going to win.
He wasn't planning on going nowhere. Irvin was planning that day to find the right medicine, to eat right, get rest, and live forever. That's what he was planning.
Thank you again, and I'll see you soon.
But as Magic put up a positive public face, his nemesis, still out of sorts, shed the mask he had hidden behind for years.
He was visibly like, wow, how could that happen? You know, it really set him back.
Probably the 2 toughest days I've had since my father passed away, and I've been very depressed and sort of been out of it.
I listened to him talk in this press conference about how devastated he was, and I remember thinking to myself, you know, goddamn, Larry found Irvin.
You know, just out of the blue, something like that happening. It's just, I've never had, other than one other instance, and I was hoping I'd never see that again, because I remember how I felt weeks after that. And yesterday was just a sad day.
And at his game that night, Bird was forced to confront pain he couldn't so easily play through.
Didn't want to be there that night. First time ever. And really last. I remember we played in Atlanta. Had no feel for the game, you know. This wasn't a good time to be out there. Never had that before.
That night he threw a pass. I'll never forget, he threw a half-court pass behind his back for a layup. And if you blurred your eyes, you squinted your eyes, it looked like magic. And that was Larry saying goodbye.
You know, I mean, this competition thing is amazing, what it does to you. What you put your body through and what you do and what you say and how you feel. And knowing that he's not there wouldn't feel right. But I think it's all them years that, you know, what's he doing? What if he's practicing this hard? I bet he shot 500 shots a day and I didn't get 500 in. It's always that mind games.
Bird played through the 91-92 season, his last in the NBA, but a part of him was already gone.
I didn't check the papers anymore, you know, it didn't matter. I still wanted to compete, you know, but it wasn't the same. It really wasn't.
With the exception of that year when he was called Tragic Johnson, because on the basketball court, things didn't shake down properly, this is the first time I'm hearing ignorance, hatred, vicious, nasty things.
There was some of my former teammates who had their own little things that they were talking about and why this happened to me.
You know anybody else that's heterosexual that got it? Come on, man, you're in denial. I've been called gay, faggot, Irvin's lover. I've been called all that shit.
Lon Rosen got a call from Isaiah Thomas asking, you know, I keep hearing Magic's gay. And Lon said, well, for crying out loud, you know better than anybody he isn't. You're one of his best friends. And he said, well, we don't know what's going on in Hollywood. And the fact that Isaiah was questioning why he got this, I think it was really, really hurtful to him.
He used to say, you know, I don't want people to stop.
You gotta watch who your friends are, man. You gotta watch who your friends are. The fact that an article or any type of publication can change their perception of who you are. Wow. Wow. So, anyway, got 8 minutes left. Gonna try to get through it, but that's crazy, man.
He used to say, you know, I don't want people to stop shaking my hand and giving me my hugs. He loves to be loved. And that's what bothered him the most, that people would change in relationship to him.
He would show up at the Lakers facility to work out and to shoot some baskets, and he'd try to engage his teammates and say, hey, you want to play a little one-on-one before practice? And, oh, geez, no, I can't. I got to go get taped. Or, oh, geez, I got work to do. I got to do something else.
The worst thing of all of this, that I couldn't play basketball. I don't even think dealing with HIV. It was I couldn't play.
The game, the surroundings was his whole world. That's his personality. When you take that away, you know, you're hurting. I knew he was hurting in a big way.
The only sex is safe sex, and that's no sex.
As basketball went on without him, Magic performed ably in his new role as HIV educator and spokesman.
I'm helping every way that I can.
But he still pined for the arena, which had made him a star. So when he was invited to play in the 1992 NBA All-Star Game, he jumped at the chance, promptly stealing the show and winning MVP honors. But that was just a warm-up. For the encore, Magic had up his sleeve.
He's not done yet because we're going to go to Barcelona and bring back the gold for everyone here in the United States. Thanks, Larry.
For the first time ever, NBA players would be competing in the Olympics. And Magic, armed with a message, was not about to miss the show.
It would have proved to people that you were not going to get the disease playing against me. And then also for me too, personally, you know, it was therapy. It was a way to say, man, yeah, you get to do this one more time.
There was also one other perk.
I think playing with Larry was very important. That's something they talked about. I mean, he was going to be on the Dream Team. He was going to be with Michael. He was going to be with Barkley. But he was going to play with Larry.
Magic kept saying to him, I just want to get you out on that court one more time. Let's just have one more sequence like we had all the way back in 1978. But it was interesting that with Magic being the one that was HIV positive, he felt great. He was in the best shape of his life.
I got a smile on my face.
He had worked so hard to make sure he didn't go there as a token player. And here was Larry, who couldn't even practice, who could barely move.
But you know what? Didn't matter. We were still together. You know, didn't matter.
Hold me close and hold me fast. The magic spell you cast.
It's going good. Probably about to get a copyright because of music, but hey, let's go with it.
This is La Vie en Rose. When you kiss me.
And when he got his opportunity, he switched a few.
I see La Vie en Rose.
And who's taking the last shot with the game on the line?
When I got my opportunity, I still was Magic.
"14 years after they'd first crossed paths, the smiling kid from Lansing and the shy boy from French Lick were happily back together in Barcelona. But it took just one glance outside their hotel's front door each morning for them to see that as far as they had come, they were as far apart as ever.
The only way you walk out that door if you wanted attention. But I asked this guy, I know, how can you get around this? There's got to be a way. Lo and behold, there was a side door. You can go wherever you want. I was going to tell him about it, but seeing that smile on his face, the closer you got to that front door, come on. He didn't want no side door, you know Irvin. He'd go right in the middle of them.
Turn the long way, sweetheart. There you go.
I'm going out the front because that's who I am. I don't go out the back. I don't go out the side.
But that's not me. If you want to go somewhere in a hurry, there's a door that leads you there, and I found it.
I respected him for that. And so, hell, I would try to find a side door for him. And we never tried to change it.
Say, man, I'm not going to lie to you, dude. I think my personality is really more like Larry Bird. I'm not going to lie, because I don't really care for being stopped and having to engage and talk to people. And this is really mostly, I guess, work related. So if I have the option to avoid somebody and just go on and accomplish my tasks for the day, my goals, or keep pushing, or if I'm in a hurry or whatever, I'm with Larry. I'm not going to where I'm getting stopped and I got to engage and talk and all that stuff. I wish I was a little bit more sociable, but I'm not. So I could I can empathize with Larry here, honestly. So anyway, we getting close to the end. Told you I was going to finish in this part, but anyway, let's get back to reaction.
And we never tried to change each other. That's what made this relationship great.
One of my pet peeves always is when people say, oh, Michael Jordan saved the NBA. Bullshit. Bullshit. Magic and Larry saved the NBA. That's who saved the NBA. Magic and Larry.
Magic
100%.
and Larry. Bird and Magic. To the millions who once watched them, now more than ever, they are inseparable. A pair of athletes thrown together by the cosmos to compete. A pair of men who discovered a bond in the midst of that competition. Decades removed from the height of their rivalry, their bond endures. Two impossibly different men with a connection only they can fully grasp.
It's almost like a private little club, and only the two of them are in it. And every once in a while, they need to show up to have a reunion and pay their dues to each other. But they don't need the day-to-day contact that most friends need. It's just not that kind of relationship.
But I always get this good feeling when I know I'm going to see him because he makes you feel good. You know, he really does. He's unbelievable.
He's very private, but if he's your friend, man, you got a friend for life. And Larry Bird is a straight shooter. He'll tell you when he don't like you. That's one thing I wish I could have from him, that he has that I don't have. I wish I had that.
I mean, he walked in here, this whole room would change, and maybe that's what I always wanted to be, but I just couldn't.
Woo! You got anything else or what? Let's see. Right, look like it's just the end credits. Hey, please stick around to the end. I got to give my take. Please, please, please. We got through it. I didn't talk much. But hey, here's my take. Man, great recommendation. I say 10 out of 10 documentary. Polar opposites. Magic Johnson, of course, as you know, out there, extreme, in your face, not afraid of the spotlight, looking for showtime by any means necessary. Larry Bird, closed off to himself. I see myself and a lot of my traits in Larry Bird, to be honest with you, man, with my personalities and everything like that. I agree with Brian Gumble. These two definitely saved the league. They walked so Michael Jordan could run. But like I stated before, let me know in the comments what you want to see me react to next, because I am done with this. I worked hard every day after I came home from work. I got the video out. It took us a while. I say all together, this is about a little bit over 2 hours, 2.5 hours altogether of a series, which I will make a playlist of. But check out one of these other videos. I think you will enjoy more videos of this channel. Sub if you haven't already. See you in the next video. Love you. Peace.